Rated mature.
So good afternoon, it's Sunday at MCM from London. How is everybody today? I heard this side of the room, mate. You mean this side. We're going to do it. How about this side of the room? Those two over there, well done. So, we're here today to talk about movies and video games. Independent movies and video games. But what we're going to do is start by introducing everybody on this panel. So first, we have the Italian stallion, Leo Zulla. If any of you ever to Crazy Frog, that's the guy who plays them. Then we have Dave Mollington. Dave made a great film called Essex Spacebin. We can tell you about that in a little bit. And that's going to be appearing on Troma. Where we come to next, Toxie, can you stand up? Ladies and gentlemen, the Toxie Convention. And then we have the one and only legend of Hollywood. More credit to Kevin Costner. More credit to the top of 1 2 crew. Lloyd Kaufman. Then we have Neil Broadhead, a legend of social media. And then the man with no legs, Haemimont.
Victor Vran, the amazing Victor Vran video game starring Lemmy is available now, and it's the best. It's an amazing video game. It goes very well, I think, with Essex Spacebin. You can watch Essex Spacebin and play Victor Vran. It's a really great combination. And if you want to see Lemmy, his last movie is Return to Nukem I, aka Volume 2. But he is in about 10 of our movies, available absolutely free on Troma Movies on YouTube.
That's acting, that, you see. That's emotion, that. Yeah, well, too much.
For 44 years, I've been able to do what comes from the heart and what comes from the soul and what pleases the Troma fans. And that's exactly why there are only 50 of you here. You have to be living in the underground. You can't expect the Hollywood mansions, the cocaine, and the hookers. You have to go and live under the overpass on the highway and enjoy the company of the people with the bath salts.
I decided to make a film instead of putting a down payment on a house. Didn't want any interference from anybody, didn't want to pitch, just wanted to make a film under my terms, and I'm going to do it the hard way.
Dodecahedron dolphin.
Troma is famous for nurturing new talent. James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy wrote Romeo and Juliet. Eli Roth started with us and did Cabin Fever and then Hostel. The South Park guys started with us.
Well, let's build a snowman. We can make them our best friend.
We're known for one-of-a-kind movies. We don't want movies that are safe. We don't need movies with 3 women in bikinis running through the woods being chased by a guy with an axe. It's been done a million times. Essex Spacebin is a one-of-a-kind movie. I've never seen anything like it. It's very entertaining. It has great satire. It's got great characters, and it looks like it cost 100 times more than the typical Troma movie. I don't know how they did it. This is a great movie. Keep an eye out for it. It's one of a kind, and that's what Troma is famous for, and that's what we want to continue doing.
We thought that it would be funny to use non-actors, so most of the cast are just extras or people we kind of forced off the street to do some acting for us. But we just wanted to explore what it was like to use non-actors, and it worked really bloody well. And we did actually bring in a couple of real actors for it as well. They're absolutely astounding actors to kind of give us the foundation, because otherwise it would have been absolutely too to ever watch. So
Hogan, my guru, has a printout of Ahmed Ra's pyramid blueprints.
I bid you good dealery.
Hello. So Victor Vran is a action RPG made by some very talented developers based in Bulgaria. It's an independent studio. They've been independent for 20 years and self-funded this video game. They approached one of the key people from the game is a guy called Akim, who should have been here today, but he's sadly ill. His close friend, or was a close friend with Lemmy, and also Lloyd. And sitting around one day, they started talking about how to bring in rock music into an action RPG. So that was the beginning of the story of Victor, Vran, Lloyd, and Lemmy. And it was a beautiful relationship. And 3 years later, we're at the stage where we're launching, sadly without Lemmy, but Lloyd has more than enough character to perform and represent Lemmy on his behalf.
Rainbow is a club in LA that Lemmy lived in, and he played constantly. There's a big statue there now for Lemmy, and he was the best. He was in I would say 10 of our movies. He never charged a penny. All he wanted was a bottle of Maker's Mark and 2 Tromets to talk to. He was the best, and he gave us music. And Motorhead has been terrific for Victor Vran. They gave us a song for Return to Nukem High, Volume 2, after Lemmy's passing. So they're the most generous, decent, brave people. They don't give a f*** about anything. And when I met Phil Campbell the first time, thanks to Victor Vran, thanks to these guys, first thing he said to me was, "Why, you don't give a f*** about anything." And then we fell in love and crossed streams. I think you all will really love Victor Vran. And maybe I'll learn whether it's pronounced Victor Vran or Victor Vran. So I'm not sure, but I like both. Play Victor Vran.
This was made by Haemimont, developer, a fantastic studio in Bulgaria, and they wanted to create the game that they wanted to create. They'd done the making games for publishers before, and they you know, for example, they're the studio behind the Tropico series, so an incredibly successful game. But this was a passion project for them. They wanted to make the game that they wanted to make, and they really, forgive the phrase, put their balls on the line with it, and created a game which had the gameplay that they wanted. And I think that is one of the most powerful things in the game, is the way that it handles, the way that it plays. It's so fluid. You know, the Motorhead side of things is just a beautiful tribute, and I think although it started back in 2014 when all 3 band members were with us, and it was very much a passion project. Lloyd said something very poignant when I met him in February at this press conference, and he said that Victor Vran and Motorhead through the ages within that is an expression of art. And that's what independent games, independent film is all about. It's all about art. It's all about getting something that you want out there to be loved, and finding people that love what you want to make. So I think that's probably the most beautiful thing about this game.
I love the weapons, the guitar, the music. Can I swear?
You can do it!
It's loud, detail, especially Motorhead through the ages for Motorhead fans. It's a world all inspired by Lemmy, from the weapons to the belt buckles to the music. It's really good. I
play the bartender. There's a bartender, very attractive, much better looking than I am, but based on me. I'm explained the game, if I understand correctly. And I also got, Akim came to New York and let me improvise. So there's a fair amount of Uncle Lloydie content in the parts where I appear. Neil, tell the people about the movie that you directed me in.
It's not ready yet, but we, when he was in here in February, we shot a 3-minute Troma-style feature. Yes, can I say the full name, or should I? Okay.
You can say.
It's called Lloyd Kaufman, and it's going to be premiering. Lloyd Kaufman. I forgot to tell you the name. I hope you don't mind. And it's going to be available for free very soon in the next few weeks or so. But it's a short video of Lloyd giving an interview, and some goes down.
We're talking about Victor Vran, this amazing video game. The weirdest thing that ever happened on our films? On a set? It's all weird. I don't even know where to begin. But if you go to Troma Movies on YouTube, we have made at least 4 feature-length documentaries behind the scenes. Check out the documentary on Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. And if you see Poultry in Motion, the documentary about Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, you will see how difficult it is to make a Troma movie. Well, there are 4 Toxic Avenger movies. Citizen Toxie is the 4th one, if you haven't seen it. It's the best one. And they're the Toxic Crusader cartoons. They're all free on Troma Movies on YouTube. We've written the 5th one, which is about Toxie's twin. He had twins in Citizen Toxie. He had twin babies. And the 5th one deals with his toxic twins, and it takes place in Chernobyl, but it costs about $800,000. We don't have that money. So we're going to make The Tempest, which is based on Shakespeare, my favorite Shakespeare play, and that's coming up next. The remake of Toxic Avenger, they've been trying to do it in Hollywood now. It's a $100 million movie with the director of Sausage Party, but I don't know if it's happening. It's a big 10-year thing, and we're only involved in that we licensed it to them. And if it happens, Uncle Lloydie will get a nice check so I can make Toxic Avenger Part 5. That's in our contract with the remake. How do we budget our movies? I think you have to either budget micro-budget, or you're going to have to go with the big studios, the devil-worshipping international media conglomerates.
Indie games for the industry, basically, it's where all the creative talent starts. It's where all the innovative ideas come from. It takes 1 or 2 people to start making an indie game, and that's where all the fresh talent comes from. Rather like in the movie industry, where you have all the big publishers making blockbusters. In the video games industry, we have the same. We have the big companies making the big games, Call of Duties every year. But that's not innovation. That's just, it's a money-making machine. They have all the merchandise, they have all the, licensing rights going off. But where the real talent is in the 2-man studios, 5-man studios, 10-man studios. Even Victor Vran, it's independent. It might be 50 people, but it's independent, it's self-funded. They can do what they want. We're an indie publisher. We can sign what we want, and we can help indie developers. So it's hard to make money, a bit like the movie industry. You have to hustle. So you have to put your hustle head on and look at every angle just to squeeze a dime out of it. But there is a good living to be made, and it's honest, and it's fun, and you get to meet and work with as many people, creative people, as you want. So it's very important.
Toxic Avenger said that formerly his favorite game was the Toxic Crusader Nintendo and Sega games, but now it's all about Victor Vran. He loves Victor Vran. And he was playing it at the big press conference. It was we couldn't drag him away. It wasn't just a video game. Victor Vran is a life experience.
So firstly, Mr. Hibbert, Neil Broadbent, Theo from Wire Productions. Then we have David Lloyd whose new film Essex Spacebin is on Troma right now. The Toxic Avenger. And then finally, is Lloyd Kaufman. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Come on, buy. Spend all your well-earned cash on us. Come on, little boy. Spend your lunch money on this useless game. Come on, give me your money.